Let's talk about Moto2 championship. You got Gonzalez, you got Canet, and Diego Marrero. Marrera. You know, I don't want to jinx Canet. I know TJ Canet's your boy. I like him too. I wish he had more wins. You know, he's only had two win. He had one win this year, which is plus because he's usually coming in second. He's been on the podium 5 times. Gonzalez 4 wins, been on the podium 9 times. Moreira, who's starting to come into his own right now, could be the dark horse that steals it the second year in the Moto2 paddock. Let's talk about that championship. It's a lot closer. There's 8 rounds left. There's no sprint in Moto2, so 25 points, I believe, is the top points that they can get. So we got 200 points to give away. How is it looking in Moto 2? I mean, I feel like Gonzalez is for him to lose because he's been having some mishap these last few rounds and still on top. But what are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, man, I want to see Kenneth finally pull it off. I mean, he's like the dark horse. I feel like everyone's always against
Unlucky
him,
horse.
and it's unlucky as well. Sometimes I don't understand where like the mistakes that happen, but you also got to say that it's Moto 2, man. They're all in the same machine, and it's like any given Sunday with Moto 2. But Gonzalez has been riding really well. He had a third place and didn't finish in the third place, but Morera is one that looking out for as well because he's creeping, and he's not far behind. So it's really a toss up between these three. It's going to be challenging, I'm sure. I know as it gets to the end, I'm sure that your adrenaline and like your focus, like everything gets so tense that it's like you don't want to make a mistake, and it's easier to make a mistake at that point. So it's going to be interesting in the last couple rounds, but rooting for
Yeah.
Canada, I should.
Oh yeah, I feel you there, man. I'm rooting for him as well. I think it'll be a come up for Moreira. Gonzalez. I mean, he did it in Super Sport. He signed for another year in Moto2, and he seems like he wants to be like Top Rock in a sense. What are your thoughts, Reese, on what's going on in Moto2, and who has the most to lose out of these 3 guys?
I mean, Gonzalez has the most to lose, I believe. I mean, he's there. I mean, it's his to lose. I mean, he needs to just. You're pretty much just managing. That's what he needs to do is just manage himself and manage the points. Um, Morera, if he can get his self together to actually do what he do when he has the used tires, the worn tires, and do it in the beginning when the tires are new. I mean, he can be a deadly person. I mean, he's going to be something that we'll keep an eye out for on the upcoming. But they said he's better when the tires are worn down. But if he could do that on new tires, he'll be absolutely great. And then with Canet, I mean, TJ, I know that's your boy, but I mean, I'm looking at Canet like a Vinales, man, for real. Like,
Come
he's a hit or
on,
miss.
like a
He's
bit. He
he's
also won a
Oh,
title.
come on.
Wait, the Connect
He
win in
don't he
Moto
don't
3?
complain.
Remember?
he don't complain. He just may hit your break when you go by you. So I
That's
mean,
it.
I like Canet, but man, that boy he is either hit or miss. He's like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man, what are you doing? That's I like him, but I mean, you got to be just. I notice what winning is nothing but consistency. If you can be consistently on the podium, consistently in the top 3, you have the obligation, a chance to win the championship. But just falling back there to the jungle, as you call it, in the back, I mean,
Right.
you don't have it. You don't have that chance.
Isn't he like I don't want to say the prototype rider for what teams would want in the sense that he lays it on the line 100% all the time. And maybe laying it on the line 100% all the time is not smart because sometimes you have to make decisions. I mean, isn't he the kind of rider that most teams would want though?
I mean, he is. He's what you want as you're going to lay it out there on the line. You're going to put it out there on the line. But then again, as a team member myself, I mean, the attitude, man, that's just one thing. And then the stupidness that you actually do, that's going to hurt you. It's all what you do on the outside too. It's not just what you do on the track. It's how you carry yourself on the outside, and same way we have to carry ourselves. I mean, it's the way you carry yourself when you're just out and about, you're just walking around, or you with the team.
Yeah, okay. I'm hearing you. You hear all that, Lewis. What are your thoughts, man? It's a close race. You heard Reese say Gonzalez has a lot to lose, but I think Canet has the most. He's been in Moto2 the longest and has the least to show for it.
I mean, I think they both have a lot to lose. I mean, obviously, Gonzalez has uh, the champ. He has. I'm not gonna say he has one hand on the championship. He probably has like two fingers on the championship right now because he's in the driver's seat. He's got the most wins. He's got the most wins. He's got the most podiums. He tends to be a little bit more consistent than Canet overall, especially over the last three races. He's definitely been way more consistent than Canet. They both had some DNFs in the last three races, but even Morera had a DNF in the last three races.
Right, but just to jump in, I think for Gonzalez, his DNFs was more mechanical.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't him crashing or anything. It was mechanical. So that, but again, you win as a team, you lose as a team. So whether you crash the bike or the bike blows up, it's the same thing, man. It's a DNF. It still goes in as a DNF. So I think he probably has the most to lose, but he also is in the best position. He's in the lead already, and he knows that he's got the speed to be there. His stats already show it from the first half of the year, and now that we're down to the last 8 races, I think he, in the next couple of races, will be his moment to shine, because if he can put that extra pressure on the two guys behind him by just finishing in front of them, he doesn't have to win. He just has to finish in front of them, keep that points gap alive. That's all he has to do. From here on out, he can manage it. And this is where I think Morera is a little bit different than Canet. Canet in that position will fold faster than a Chinese lady hocked up on all the coffee in the world, because he starts to worry about winning when he should be worrying about bringing it home in front of the guy that you need to beat. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to crash or you're going to be in a bad spot in the track. Get in the front, stay in front, manage the race. Don't do anything stupid. And I think, considering where Morera is coming from, I think he has a really good attitude to do that. With that said, I think Morera will finish ahead of Canet at the end of this year. Gonzalez will win, but Morera will finish in front of Canet. Only because Morera is already coming off last year a championship. He knows what it's like to lead at the front and be at the end of the season and manage those extra points. And he's got nothing to lose. He's a rookie. Even if he tosses it down the road, you know what? You're a rookie. You're supposed to do that. The fact you're in third place and you're only a few points behind a guy that's been in Moto2 for like 17 years, like, beat his ass. There's no reason why you can't beat him. You're only, what, 6-7 points behind him at this point? 6 points behind? Dude, that's not even a podium. That's Canet finishing 12th and him finishing 7th. So,
yeah, I wasn't sure that Morera was a rookie. I thought he was in the second year, but you might be right.
Yeah, he's a rook.
He's a rook.
He's a rook.
That's even
he
more
won the
impressive.
Moto3 championship last year and moved up to Moto2.
Yeah, so that's even pretty impressive to be a rookie. I mean, because I don't even think Pedro was fighting for the championship in his rookie year. Like he did in the second year. Out of these 3 guys, and I'll put this all to you, which one of these guys are taking their teammates to dinner and bringing their bags just to help them out with the races for the next 8 rounds, or is it all up to them to kind of bring it home on their own?
No, you have to bring it home as a team. The mechanics, everybody, your data guy, everybody that's in that garage with you, even though they're not riding the bike with you, they're a part of the bike with you. The guy that's tuning the bike for you, your data guy, your chassis guy, all of these people are working to make sure that you're in the best position possible to win. Of these 3 guys, honestly, I think Morera is probably the most likely to be the most humble about it, because he's in a position that he shouldn't be in. And I'm sure that the team helped him get in that position. He's probably worked a lot by himself, getting physically ready, getting mentally ready, looking at tape, learning, understanding the data, the differences on a Moto2 bike. And I'm sure the team has, got people sitting with him constantly in between every session, going through every bit of data to see where he can find a couple of tenths here and there and take a corner a little bit different. And I'm sure he's got a rider coach that's out in different corners, seeing how he's taking the line and helping him adjust. Like, these guys at this level have a lot of people helping them. And you have to be very grateful for everybody that helps you, because the MotoGP paddock looks big from the outside, but from the inside, it's like the Moto America paddock. Everybody knows each other. And if you start coming across the wrong way, it just decreases your stock. So these younger guys are always looking to stay humble, stay hungry, but stay humble, and stuff like that. At a certain point, they lose their humbleness, some of them, and become kind of dicks. Pedro Acosta, for instance, like, he's got a lot of dickishness to him. I just hate to say it. He comes across that way a lot. The way that he talks sometimes, the way he goes to the box sometimes and loses his temper and this and that. I understand it's the heat of the moment, but, I look at it myself. If I went home and something happened and I walked in my house and I told my mom, man, fuck this, and fucking throwing shit, man, I get my ass beat.
Right. But, when you've been winning your whole life, you don't know that other side.
Because I haven't been winning.
Because Perez was the same way. Rossi was the same way. Lorenzo was the same way.
Everybody wants to win, but you always have to keep your temper in check, because you're not just working for this employer. You got to think about the next employer, because there's no guarantee you're going to stay with this company for more than another year, or when your contract's over, it might be over. And if you get labeled as that problem child, if you get labeled as that person that's difficult to work with, it becomes more difficult to find a job, even if you are the most talented rider in the world. There's a lot of talented riders sitting home right now. We'll talk about Andrea Iannone in a little bit. Who's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
My man's about to be forced into retirement. Why? He got a little bit too much dickness in him.
There's some places he can go in the world to go ride if he wants.
He might be going to the Bagger Championship. That might be the only ride he gets. And he could still make something from his name. But again, his reputation, the things that he's done, missing out on practices, doing all these things that were detrimental to the teams he worked on. Dude, that's a lot of baggage to carry into your 30s. It's not a lot when you're in your 20s and you're fast, but when you're 30s, man, this is the MotoGP is the Leonardo DiCaprio of racing, man. Once you get a certain age, I got to move on to a new bitch that's younger.
Yeah, there's some of that, man. There's some of that. TJ, what are your thoughts on? I know Lewis mentioned the team and everything like that. What about the other riders? Canet's teammate, Gonzalez's teammate, Morero's teammate. You think they're gonna get in the fight and get in the way of these guys and stuff like that? Do they even have the pace to even be up front to even maybe Baltas, right? Because Baltas is probably the closest one. He's in fourth place, so Canet might have a little bit of help. You think their teammates are going to help out any?
Not really. I don't think so. Lately we just been seeing what Morero. We've been seeing Baltas up there, but his last result was 12th and then 7th. So, I know Catalunya is a pretty fast track, and it's I don't know. I don't think he's gonna get much help, for sure. But I know Anshu has had a good result his past couple, and let's see, Vietti. But as far as the teammates trying to step in the way to get in front of Gonzalez or Moreira, I don't see it happening.
Okay, all right, that's what's
up. It all comes down to the qualifying, though, So that's they gotta hopefully just get out to a good start as a team, get a good setup. Sometimes the team don't have a good setup, but the rider just rides around it and still can get a good time. So
right.
Hopefully they have a good setup to interfere.
Does Canet have a teammate, or he's on a one-bike team?
No, he has a teammate, Baltas. He's also on Fantic as well. Barry Baltas.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
But then right behind him is Vietti. Oh, yeah, they're not on the same team.
No, they're not on the same team. So I'll save the team question, Reese, when we start talking Moto America. because you in the thick of things, and I don't want you to double talk yourself between MotoGP and Moto America. But let me ask this, because Lewis had brought up a good point about the assholeness of riders and the dickness of riders and stuff like that. Moreira and Canet, they're similar in the sense that they both will fight for a position. They're not scared of the battle and stuff like that. But throughout history of Canet, he's always been on the losing side of that when he tried to fight, where Moreira has always had the upper hand. Outside of that, who do you think has the better chance? Or you just go with history?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go to
I didn't
Moreira.
hear that question.
What was for Reed?
He wants to know, is Connect gonna fold like a cheap suit?
my phone was
exactly.
phone was breaking up. I missed that.
I could have said it like that too. Connect gonna fold like a cheap suit, or he's gonna be Rudy and bring one home.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Moreira in that battle. I mean, Moreira, like Lewis said, he's very humble, but Canet wants to win, which everybody wants to win. But in the same sense, if you know that, hey, I need to bring the most points home, Canet doesn't understand that concept yet. You need to win. Yeah, you want to win, but if it's not your day, the best sense is just to gain the most maximum points you can, not throw it down a chute, and now you got a crash fest or a parts list going down, and that's Canet's problem. He just wants to win, and he wants to push and bang up on people, and I'm like, no, that's not what you need to do. Just gain the most maximum points you can do, your best effort, and bring it home safe and sound, where we can go home and gain the most points, and that's the best sense in that case, and I think Moreira has the better chance of that instead of Canet.
All right. Well, we're gonna see, man, and we'll circle back to this as this weekend is coming up in Cataluna.